and it is the qualification for the quarterfinal between Slovenia and Belgium. Well, Belgium have had a rough go of it so far. Remember last year they did so well at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. They lost their last game against Serbia, but here they are. If they win this game, they will be in the qualifiers, or the quarterfinals, excuse me. And, you know, Slovenia, very dangerous opposition. Italy will take on Russia next. And before we get there, though, we've got a wild ride. We expect Slovenia, if they play at their top, they are very dangerous opposition for this Belgian team that I think a lot of people expected to really challenge for a spot on the podium and possibly for the title. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Shona Thorburn. And Shona, I don't know, what's your read on this?
You know, you talked about how Belgium's had a rough ride so far in this tournament. Really, they were in the most difficult group, Group D. They had Serbia, Russia, Belarus, who I think surprised a couple teams early. And the fact that they came out second in the group, have, you know, an opportunity, are playing in this game, they're still a top team in Europe, in the world, after what they did last year in the World Cup. So I really, you know, I think they're going to be fine. That being said, you and I have covered Slovenia already. They were in our group, so we've seen every one of their games. When this Slovenian team plays at their best, it is incredibly pretty basketball. I really don't know how else to describe it. They play with speed, they play with movement, they look great. You know, I hope for basketball fans and for Slovenian basketball fans, we'll see Lisic in lineup. She hadn't played since the third quarter of the first game. She's a game changer for them. So, you know, obviously Belgium haven't really been able to scout her in this tournament because she only played around 20-odd minutes before getting hurt. So let's see what kind of shape she is in and if she is also ready to help the Slovenian team. If not, they're going to give an excellent Belgian team a run for their money.
Well, if it's the Slovenia that we saw on that opening night, this will be a very, very difficult game for Belgium, no matter how they come out. Belgium, obviously, with number 11 there, a true international superstar, and you see the legendary. I think it's okay to go ahead and call her a legend. And Walters. Kiana Lesnick's number 13, perhaps a player they can get more of, a truly gifted player she showed at the World Cup and also in their run to third place in this tournament a couple years ago. Terrific, really has played well and helped them in this tournament. But you know what? The margin for error now is very slim. You cannot afford to lose. We're going to have a pause in the commentary for the playing of the national anthem, starting with Slovenia.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Belgium.
It's now or never, folks. This is the time for Belgian basketball or for Slovenian basketball to stay in the hunt for a spot in the Olympics, to stay in the hunt for a spot on the podium here. Remember, if they get into that top 6, by the end of the tournament, they will go to a FIBA Women's Olympic qualifying tournament next summer in a bid to go to Tokyo. And obviously, so many things to be thinking about when you come into this game. But I guess, Shona, really, you're only thinking about one thing, and it's playing this basketball game right now. You're not really too bothered by the pressure. The referees tonight, Martin Kozlovskis on the left from Latvia, Gentian Titi from Albania, and Darius Zapolski from Poland on the right, all with the look that, hey, they mean business tonight. So we certainly had 0 complaints from the refereeing in these. I thought they were outstanding. So maybe with a good luck charm, maybe we're going to see another great performance by them. For Slovenia, Teja Oblak has to fire, doesn't she? You look at that roster, and you already talked about it. Eva Lisets coming back. I suppose at number 12, how big is that?
You know, fans haven't seen the quality that she is. She's a EuroLeague player from Skio. I really think Slovenia could have won. Here you go. You see the starting lineup,
she's
but she's not in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's worrisome. You do see her warming up, but I really think Slovenia might have been able to pull off coming first place in Group C had she played in all their games.
Yeah, that's a good observation, actually. Teja Oblak, what was she averaging? 19 points per game over the first 2 games before the last one. A real dud for all the Slovenians against Italy, but nevertheless.
I mean, she had a bad game, and she's still averaging 14.3 points, 13th, you know, in this tournament as far as how many points she's scoring. So clearly she is someone who, she had her best game when she gets going early, and that's what we need to see from her.
Consider the whole body of work. Okay, look at that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, right there, number 5, Kim Mestag, someone who needs to step up. Emma Messerman, Linskins, you know, those are their 3-star players, and they all have to have a great game. Here we have the starting lineup: Emma Mestag, Antonia Zeller, Messerman, Linskins, and Julie Alemund. She was basically the story of last year's World Cup. She hasn't quite played up to her what she did last year, but you know what? When you have a teammate like Messerman, 24.3 points, 9 rebounds a game, there's not much more she can do for this team, to be honest. And you know what's scary? This is how good she is. Here we have Demir Grgic, the coach of Slovenia. Emma Messerman is someone who, she is consistently that good. Those stats are actually her stats all the time. This is what kind of a player. I mean,
and I have Kim.
There's Philip Mestag, the coach, who I thought did a wonderful job with this Belgian team the last 3 years, developing the program. And like we said, it's easy when you have a player like Emma Messerman. I mean, she's a leader. She's just incredibly consistent. But you know what? She has to be like that for them to be successful.
Yeah, there's no question. She has to be at her top. Really, I can't remember when she wasn't at the top. I mean, her consistency, her excellence is just off the charts, really. So, Julie Alemund is a player you said has had some struggles, and we were talking to some of the Belgian journalists, and they were like, everything was great right up before the start of EuroBasket. And of course, if she starts to fire now in crunch time, well, then it's no big deal. So, but there's no question. Some of these great young exciting players that we saw last year, they've really got to pick it up a bit for Belgium to realize their goals. Marjorie Capriot was, I thought, really important the last couple of years as a backup guard, backup playmaker, and she's had injuries coming into this tournament and hasn't really been as influential. Delar has been terrific, apparently. We haven't been able to follow Belgium, only watch them on TV. And Linskin's perhaps not playing at the level that she was last year, but hey, the big games are upon us. Well, good evening, folks. We are in Belgrade And this is the FIBA Women's EuroBasket 2019 qualification for the quarterfinals game. And already Slovenia, after winning the tip, turned it over. Good job by Linskens to force the turnover. Anybody that knows anything about European basketball knows this is one of the hotbeds, this city of basketball. And already Alamon says, hey, I'm going to turn it up a notch.
And you know what? That's what I love. I think every coach tells Julie Alamon, be more aggressive looking for yourself. She's a pass-first point guard who has the ability to score. And you know what? If she starts off aggressive looking for herself, it's going to open up those passes for her.
Preza misses. Preza's been hugely impressive for this Slovenia team. And now a wide-open shot for Dalar, and she passes it up to drive in. And Dalar misses. It's not like a Belgian to pass up a long-range shot, is it?
She hasn't actually hit a three in this tournament yet, so maybe that's a little bit on her mind.
Nika Baric just blew right past Linskens and did the hard part and then missed the layup. Messaman takes the bump, passes it back out to Alamon. Mestag down low to Linskens and follows up her miss. And then she hands it off to Messaman, and I think, what was it,
I don't think the first shot didn't touch the rim, so it might have been.
But even then they haven't,
they reset it to 14, where I think it should not have been a reset.
Okay.
We saw Linskens with, she got her own rebound. So she had that shot on the baseline. I think she might have shot it over. And then the scorer's tape will reset it to 14, which is normally what happens but it didn't hit the rim. So it's a good call by the ref because, you know, they notice those things, and they're also having to count in their head as well. And you can't go to video replay this early, so I think it's a good job by the referee there being aware.
Dante Evans. Now Alamon over to Mestag. Well, it was a dangerous pass. Mestag brought it in, and now Linskens fires it inside, and Evans knocks it away from Messaman. So a little bit of a sloppy start to the game. Baric again gets inside, and this time makes it with the left hand, and that has to be worrying for Slovenia, that they can have that penetration by Baric so easy.
And you know what? She's leading this tournament in assists, and right now we've seen her come out and be aggressive. She was the only one who I thought did an okay job in their last game against Italy, where no one played well. And you know, you and I heard her in the press conference after the game. She was incredibly disappointed.
Now, I don't know if you saw Messaman. She looks at Linskens right after that and says, hey, just get a little bit more arc on that pass. Get it, just kind of throw it over the defense. And Baric, for the third consecutive trip down the floor, has a layup, and this time misses.
And almost open layups. I know she is going up against a little bit of a taller, you'll see the help side defense. Well, you know what? She's going against Linskens, but she does a good job of getting by her. And you know what? That's 4 points that Baric has missed, where I think she could have made the layups.
Now Evans fouled. Well, they don't call her Nika Fearless Baric for nothing. She will go. She was going right at the tall Hungarian center as well. Bernadette Hattar, who's been one of the star performers of this EuroBasket so far, and no doubt that Linskens raked the left arm of Evans.
Substitution coming from Belgium, out number 13, Kara Linskens.
So can you be called a legend while you're still playing? Because she absolutely is, you know.
I would say no, but
she is a EuroLeague legend,
yeah.
And she hasn't played in the EuroLeague for the last couple years, and I'm not sure you'll see her return to the EuroLeague this coming season either. So we can call her a EuroLeague. We call her European EuroLeague legend. How about that?
Why don't we just say she's a European legend?
A European legend, but she's still playing. And again, so we see the miss by Evans there on the free throw line, and really right now Slovenia should be up almost 8-2.
Yeah, I mean Belgium looking pretty shaky, and it's almost like Slovenia see blood in the water, like they're a shark. Starting to go for it here. Dangerous moments for Belgium, and Preza not necessary. the contact so far away from the basket.
But you know what, Jeff? A little stat about this Slovenian team. They foul, and they foul a lot. In 2017 at the FIBA Women's EuroBasket, they committed the most fouls.
Goodness me. Julie Alamont has answered the call so far. 5 points.
Well, you know, people kind of questioned how she's doing in this tournament so far, and I think she wants to put that information to rest.
And looks like Mestag may have taken a shot. Let's see, look at this.
First personal foul.
I think she's tired of people talking about how she's had a slow start, because she ain't had a slow start today, Shona Thorburn.
You know what? That's not a bad scouting port by Slovenia to go under the screen and force her to shoot. There.
She has got a beautiful stroke.
She's actually been the most consistent player for the Slovenian team. She's the only player that has scored at least 10 or more points in their first 3 games in the tournament. So that tells you a little bit about her importance also.
Messaman has it down low, gets it to Waters, puts it up, and a little bit too hard.
So Julie Alamont in this tournament is only shooting 10% from the three-point line. So do you force her to shoot and make them? And when she does, then you adjust? Because she has not been shooting it well?
Delar gets it down low and just kind of lost her balance. I don't know if she should have held that up. Taya Oblak pulls up on the break, and right now, in my opinion, this Belgian team looks right.
They do. And honestly, they look a little tired to me, but you and I have seen Slovenia play a lot now already in this tournament, and they play at their best when they play with speed and pace. And I'm talking transition, semi-transition looks, and they run so fast on offense when it is a quarter-court offense. And maybe it's tiring this Belgian team out.
Well, Delar didn't pass up the 3 there, missed it, and Slovenia get a chance to get up the floor quickly. Long one from Slovenia out, and Alamont probably looks like the only Belgian player right now that's at her best, to be honest. Here's Messaman, a little bit long. And quickly to the other end is Oblak.
And that's what I mean. Slovenia know how to run, and they run under control and can score fast, but it's still very controlled. It's really beautiful basketball.
Well, the answer from Coach Mestag is going to be to bring in Julie Van Loo and take Antonia Delar out, who seems to not be in her rhythm. Messaman is a EuroLeague Women winner this year with UMMC Katerinburg. She was bumped, and you almost wonder right now, it almost seems as if it's going to be Messaman or nothing for Belgium, because I'm not sure that the support is there. It has been for Alamont, but they'll be looking for Van Loo to give a lift. Alvina checks out.
But you know,
overall been good. Frischkevets is in now, number 13, and Mestag. This is the layup.
We saw, you know, something concerning for me with the Slovenian team. Nice try by Evans there, grabbing her rebound.
Right, look at the break, and it's Messaman missing the layup.
I'm not sure I've ever seen her miss 2 shots, and she is 0 for 2 right now.
Well, they're getting their chances, and now Evans takes a shot and hits the 2, and it's 11-5, and I think this was a timeout that clearly had to be called by Belgium.
Yeah.
He needs to find a rotation that kind of stems the flow of, well, just brings a spark.
But really, it's just the pace. Slovenia they do a great job of rebounding the ball, outletting it to either Baric or Oblak, who are 2 incredibly experienced, very capable and smart point guards.
Okay, let's try to listen in.
How hard do you want it? I can't even finish easy layups. Come on. We go into 1. Can't even bring her at the end, so pass the ball to Jana.
Just 2 of 10, Belgium.
Jana will be over here. Pass the ball, go in, up, go in, go out. Now here Highland pick and roll has failed. You play a pick and roll together with Diana. All right? Two attack.
Looks like Lisets might be checking into the game. See fast break points, 6 for Slovenia. I think what Belgium looked tired to me.
Yeah,
that's the best way to describe it. They just look tired.
But keep in mind, they came out of
a tough group.
Yes, I mean, and I'm not saying Slovenia, but Slovenia got their one win. Kind of knew that they were going to be able to advance out of group phase with that win. It was the second game.
Yeah, they
where
punched this
Belgium,
ticket.
we had no idea. I mean, it was scary and it was close in that group. You didn't know who was coming out of that Group D. And maybe not just the physical part, but the mental part could have been very tough on them.
Rahman is checked into the game, number 42, Jan Rahman. Here's Van Loo. Back to Alemán. She's hit 1-3. This is her second, and ball goes out of bounds. So Belgium will retain possession.
And so the concerning thing is, if I'm Belgium, I'm going to try and get the ball inside because you have such an advantage. And draw the foul. They're going to be in bonus here on out.
Now, Lisets checks in, takes the jumper. And as bad as it is, a 6-point deficit, it could be a lot worse right now for Belgium.
You know what?
Rahman puts it on the deck, passes Van Loo, open, Alemán steps into it. That's much better.
3 points, 55,
The Cats.
I was just about to say, I think they're kind of settling for a few too many shots on the outside, and that's because Slovenia, that's what they're daring them to do, because Slovenia realized that we're not as tall.
But
we don't want to give them their advantage, which is their inside post players in Linskens, in Emma Messerman.
But that was a great play. I mean,
No,
look
that
at
was.
Look
I
at
mean,
how
look
they
at that
swing
extra
it.
pass, yeah.
Steps into it. She's hit a couple of threes. And again, it's worth repeating. Coming in, we were talking about how Alemán had struggled. And here she is. She scored all 8 of Belgium's points.
I mean, struggled. She's still averaging 5 points a game, 5.7 assists. So
Evans pulls her way down low right up against Rahman. Good. She can't do any more than that on defense. And Evans, when she gets a full head of steam, she is tough. Now Messerman passes back to Alemán. This time front and back of the rim. Still, her shot looks pretty good. Vuskovic drives right down the lane. And boy, the number of layups
another missed layup. I mean, great takes, but missed layup.
Hannah Mastag in as well, number 22. She can put it up from deep. Oh, beautiful pass by Rahman, and Alemán goes to 10 points.
And see, that's the kind of basketball that I think we've been used to seeing Belgium play, where they, the ball was reversed an entire time there. Everyone touched it. It went inside. You had a cutter layup. Where the first few possessions in this game, they were kind of settling for what the defense was giving them and not playing their style of basketball, and I think that's why they're down right now.
Lisets has it knocked away by Rahman. And I didn't think particularly last summer that Rahman was one of Belgium's better players, but she has elevated her game at this women's EuroBasket. Time the 3 out. Might come out for that. Delar is going to check back in. Lisets drives in and scores with a reverse layup. Takes it back to a 5-point advantage. Remember that first game late in the contest against Italy.
Yeah.
She went down, and we didn't know what we knew it was
Late
something
in the
with
third quarter.
a lower right leg, a calf, or whatever, but it turned out to be a cramp. Really bad cramp. Alemán drives in, maybe doing a little bit too much there. Now quickly up ahead to Vuskovic, and she misses, but look at the hustle by Evans to get it back. Now Taya Oblak drives in. Beautiful play by Slovenia.
This
Great
pace
effort.
is not good for Belgium. One, I think they look tired, and this is the kind of pace that Slovenia needs to play with. And in the first game, remember I questioned at the end of the first quarter, I said, can they do this all game? guess what? They can play at this pace all game.
Slovenia doing a great job of surrounding Messamon down low.
And again, another outside shot. They're just really settling for a lot of outside shots.
Oh, look at the beautiful pass! Baric gets it to Lisets, and she scores with the layup.
I mean, keep in mind, Baric, she is a beautiful pass and a good job by Lisets to set the screen and roll there. But Baric is leading this tournament in assists easily. And again, she didn't have a very good game. She played okay. She scored a little bit more in that last game for them in the group phase. I think she only had 4 assists, though. So to still be leading the tournament in assists, I mean, this is an experienced point guard. This is an experienced pass-first point guard. You know, she has 8.3 assists per game in this tournament so far.
And converting the three-point play takes up to 10 points, the biggest lead of the game for Slovenia. Messamon. Again, this time gets it down low, blocked. Friskovic did a good job helping out.
Great job. Every time Emma Messman catches the ball, no matter where it is, she's almost double, triple teamed, and it's flustering her right now. You know, you can see she hasn't got going. She's 0 for 2. She has a turnover.
Baric steps back, puts it up from deep. And it's worth repeating, it could be a lot worse for Belgium. Slovenia, though, lead it 20-10 at the end of one.
Here, a quick look at the stats. They're shooting 15%, very uncharacteristic of Belgium compared to 47% for Slovenia. And a lot of those are fast break points, so Belgium's going to have to figure that out.
Well, what a start to the game. We've seen Julie Alamont do well for much of the contest for Belgium, but that's been about it. For Slovenia, they've just gradually built a lead of 20-10. Nika Baric right in the middle of a lot of the good stuff. Prezel making that jump shot. Here is Teja Oblak on the break, scoring. And it looks like the Slovenia that really we saw on opening day, when they lost, in fact, against Hungary, but nevertheless looked good for much of that game. And then the second day when they won against Turkey.
You know, we talked a little bit earlier. I think they could have won that game against Hungary had Lisets not gone down and Evans not foul out with about 5 minutes left into the game when they were up in the fourth quarter. So this is a team that should be playing in the quarterfinals, I think.
Belgium's got to figure some things out. Slovenia now with a real opportunity to knock off a team that made to the semifinals last year and really gave the USA their toughest game at the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, they did. I mean, you saw that win over Spain, which that will be on the highlight reel for years to come in women's basketball. And you know, but this is also a little bit of the difference right now. That team was together all summer. Emma Messman took the year off from the WNBA. This year she went there after her EuroLeague season. Kim Mestag is in the WNBA this summer. And then they joined the team. They still joined the team a few weeks ago, but it was a different kind of opportunity to be together all summer last year, and it's slightly different this year. And also now, compared to the last 2 years, now they have a target on their back.
Great point. Minskins knocks it away. And it's not out of the ordinary to have, they're not going to be great every summer for whatever reason, different reasons. Here is Pliskowitz on the baseline. Bodic gets the rebound. Pliskowitz up high, bounce pass, loose heads. They're making it look easy right now. Mallard's going to check into the game.
And right away, you see the double come so fast from Slovenia.
Lestag puts up a bomb from 3, no good. So far, the only player to have scored.
And again, I think Slovenia is doing a great job. Clearly, their game plan is to make things uncomfortable, and as soon as Emma Messman, I mean, it's almost before she even catches the ball, on the ball to the pass to her, Slovenia has a second person there, and then they do a great job of covering the cutters, and they're sort of telling Belgium, you know what, shoot from outside, kill us that way. And so far, Belgium haven't been able to take advantage of the kind of defense Slovenia is playing against them.
Pliskowitz puts it on the deck, drives in. Linskens with the rebound. Carprio. She has a little bit of razzle-dazzle in her game.
And here, they can't even get it into Emma Messman. I mean, there she does a great job finding the cutter, Linskens, and it was Linskens' defense who went over to help, so that was the right pass by Emma Messman to Linskens for a nice 2-point layup there. And see, in my opinion, there we saw Baric take the ball off the dribble. She's done a good job getting to the basket early here in this game, but that is, I mean, she had 3 defenders kind of collapse on her. The towers of Emma Messman and Linskens, so that was a little bit ill-advised, and that's not normally a layup you see from her. She's normally a person who can get to the basket and create for her teammates. And their outside shot attempt. Steal by Oblak. She missed the 2-point pull-up. And this pace, I just think, is not convenient for Belgium. And you see, there's Caprio you talked about. She has a little razzle-dazzle in her game, missing the easy layup. It just has not been the night for Belgium so far. And then Baric steps up and knocks down a 3 in a semi-transition type situation.
Well, real trouble for Belgium.
And another uncharacteristic turnover by Belgium. And I keep talking about the pace that the Slovenia team plays with, and it's great pace. And I think it's flustering Belgium because they're also trying to stay and play at the pace that Slovenia is determining. That's the way we're going to play tonight, and I don't think it suits Belgium or Belgium's style.
Well, Slovenia trying to turn it up a notch even more. 13-point lead. Oblak pulls up and hits another jump shot, and the lead has grown now to 15 points. It's a real terrific start for the Slovenians and a nightmare for Belgium. Messamon down low, finally gets one to go. Starting to believe we might not see that tonight.
This is probably one of the slowest starts that I've seen Emma Messman, but she hasn't had any opportunities.
Crochet has the ball knocked out of her hands.
And you just see Emma Messman right now. She has her hands on her knees. She looks completely winded, Jeff.
Evans goes to the right, puts it up and misses, and another chance. Beautiful pass, this is much better. And Alemon catches it, and wanting to snuff the run out immediately is Grgic.
Yeah. I mean, good call by him. His team's been playing so well. You call this timeout right now, also to give your team a little bit of a breather and talk about, you know, what happened on that last play where Emma Messman was able to get a shot off, because really she has not even had the opportunity to shoot so far in this game. And there you see Julie Allemund had the opportunity. Here we'll take a listen to Coach Burridge.
Hey, if it's nothing, just play 2 on 2. We
So Slovenia have led by as many as 15 points.
Don't forget,
I suppose at this point, if you're Belgium, you're thinking, okay, finally, the feel-good factor. How can they build on this and might Slovenia? What do they need to do?
Slovenia right now are imposing their style of play and how they want to play, and they play like this because they think it gives them the best chance of winning a game, plain and simple. So right now, Belgium needs to take over and impose their style of play, and you know what? It's slowing things down a little bit more. Getting Julie Allemund, I mean, she's played great so far. She's the reason that they are only down 11. But you know what? Have her involved in a little, maybe more screening actions, more penetration opportunities, because she is such a great passer. And you got to get the ball. You got to figure out how to get looks for Emma Messman. She is your star. She has been for years now, and she needs to score and have good looks for Belgium to be able to pull off the win tonight.
Oblak gets it over to Baric. Now here's Evans, and big shot from Evans.
And that's what you want to see if you're a coach outside of a timeout. They did a good job of running their offense. And you know what? I bet you that's what he called, and that's what they got. See here, look, no one is even guarding Allemund.
There she is, Allemund gets it to Messman.
And again, another turnover because they are trapping Messman before she even gets the ball, Jeff.
Yep, she's not going to go 1-on-3. Pusha almost went in.
But really, watch this defense from the Slovenian team.
Allemund over to Mestag in the corner, follows up the miss, and puts up a layup. And that is her first 2 points of the game.
And she's another player who's scoring in double digits for this Belgium team. So her and Messman, Kim Mestag and Emma Messman really need to get going for this Belgium team.
Oblak misses from deep. Ball goes off of Messman's hands. Messman goes down. Rahman's going to come back in. Well, they have to be relieved, Belgium, that they've actually seen the ball go in the basket, because it wasn't for a while.
Honestly, for them to be only down 11 right now.
Oblak short and good. Well, good job, both teams. Ball kind of fumbling away. Woo, boy, that was dangerous, throwing it under the Slovenia basket. I don't think they actually ever had possession, did they?
So that was an 8-second backcourt call right there.
Well, that's what I think Mestag is arguing, that nobody actually had possession.
Yeah.
But it's going to go, I think, in Slovenia's favor. I was surprised that they had started the shot clock, to be honest. But
so yeah, in those kind of situations, you think the game clock obviously keeps running, but the shot clock hasn't necessarily started because you're saying it wasn't a full-on possession situation.
But in any regard, Slovenia rewarded for their hustle, staying after it. And Preza off target. Miskins with the rebound gets it over to Mestag. And now she's tripped up by Oblak, who commits the 3rd foul for Slovenia. Allemund goes to her left into the lane. Rahman thought about putting it up. Now she's going to drive. Much better. Boy, she does look good, doesn't she? I mean, obviously, you want to see her drive to the basket first, don't you?
Yeah, and you know, I keep saying that I think Belgium is settling for outside shots. So I like that she gave up that outside 2-point jump shot and decided to take it hard to the basket instead, Jeff.
But if I'm Slovenia, I'm thinking, I'm not going to let her beat me. I'm going to make her take that jump shot.
Yeah, it's the kind of defense that Slovenia is playing, though. They're always going to be in a closeout type situation, and you know, Belgium needs to do a better job of attacking the closeouts like we just saw.
Baric takes the bump, gets it inside. Evans with the rebound. To Oblak. Now she loses it as she gets inside, and the pass up ahead to Rahman, who hustles down the floor. Beautiful pass. Great hustle by Evans, but she's called for the foul. I thought she may have had a swat. She's not complaining.
I think, look at Rahman. She's the one who forced that turnover there. Great on-ball defense. And then, no, I mean, yeah.
She got the body.
She definitely had the ball, but then she got the body after.
See the spider cam there in the picture. Now the referees are going to go over and see if it's an unsportsmanlike. Unfortunately for Evans, she has a lot of reviews on whether it's unsportsmanlike.
Yes, unsportsmanlike foul, 30 blue, okay?
I don't think it's
Okay.
So we'll see here what the refs decide to go with. So yeah,
Wow.
so they're saying I think it was excessive.
Dangerous.
Yeah, excessive contact. And you know what? It's tough because as a player, coaches always tell you, don't allow an and one. If you're gonna foul, if you're in a fouling situation, make sure it's kind of hard enough that they don't have an opportunity for an and one.
Yeah.
And
I
don't think she here we'll see it. I mean, she did go for the ball. It was just kind of her body made contact with Almond.
Yeah,
I don't think it was an aggressive trying to hurt her.
These guys are doing
situation.
a great. Referees are going to possibly see something different than what we saw. But I hate the fact that Evans hustled down the floor
she really
to make
did.
the play on defense. She got the block. Yeah, there was call the foul.
It was definitely contact.
But goodness me, this is a potential big call because, they've already made 2 free throws. They're struggling to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a 5-point swing. They forced the turnover. They've already scored 2 points, like you said.
Anyway.
So they're really
It's a 4-point play, or a 4-point trip down the floor as Messaman scores with the putback.
And it's interesting. If you watch this defense, they're saying, you know what, Almond, go ahead. You got 14 points already, but can you beat us by yourself?
Baric for 3.
Look, watch this. Nika Baric. Every time I say that, the play stops. Or they transition fast break.
Well, Slovenia
Watch
one of these
Baric.
clubs that had a lot of unsportsmanlike calls. And
Here you see, I think that's bad defense by Almond. She needs to go over that screen. You know what? Maybe Belgium are also forcing Baric to score from outside. But next time Slovenia is in defense, take a look. And Nika Baric is the one, number 9 for Slovenia, is guarding Julie Almond of Belgium. And watch how far off she is playing. Really, they've said, you know what, Nika Baric, you're the one. Anytime there's a pass, go into MMSman. Before the pass even happens, you're going to be there on the catch. So what they're doing is they are daring Julie Almond to take over and win this game basically by herself because they're doing a good job on everyone else defensively.
so Baric is not a bad 3-point shooter. I mean, she hit 4 in Group C, 4 out of 10.
Yeah, if you're 40% 3-point shooter, that's a very good percentage.
At least that's guilty of standing around in there, not getting that rebound. Now Alamon. Back to Rahman. Delar goes left, gets away in. And Belgium have cut that deficit back to 4 points. I have to say with Slovenia, they can be great at times, but what is it? You have to you got to be able to stamp on somebody's throat when you get on top of them.
Yeah, and we saw that in Group C. They did a bad job of letting some teams go on runs when they were up. Like the first game against Hungary.
They were up 14, I think, against
They were. The last 5 minutes of the game, so we saw Lisets go out in the end of the third quarter. Early in the end of the third quarter, around then. And then the fourth quarter, 5 minutes left, Slovenia have a 4 or 5 point lead. Evan gets her 5th foul. So you really... And maybe that's inexperience, this is only their second EuroBasket. They didn't qualify out of the group
Reverse
phase in
Boliana.
2017.
Backdoor cut. Backdoor.
There you see the bench points, 2 for Belgium and 7 for Slovenia. And you know, I keep on talking about how the big players for both these teams need to do well. You know, the Oblak, the Baric, the Evans, same for Belgium, the Alleman, the Messman, the Linskins, Mestag. But you also need other people being able to come off the bench and contribute as well. And right now, Slovenia has done a much better job than Belgium in that.
The game started out as true car show for Belgium, and now we've got a game. 32-28. We'll go full court pressure here. And they back off with this token. Oblak has it. Evans going up against the superstar, gets it back to Baric. And much better now for Belgium. It's incredible they can find themselves only trailing by 4 now, with a chance to cut it to 2 or even 1. Alleman, boy, I think it's safe to say she may not have had this important of a first half in her career.
It's also the scouting report. I mean, they are daring her to shoot, and you know what? She has responded with 16 points, 6 of 10 from the field. So I like that. I like that she has stepped up and she's knocking down these open shots for Belgium because they desperately need it.
Well, Alleman again penetrates. At least that's missed at the other end for Slovenia. Seems like there's a lid on their basket now. There's Alleman again. Passes to Mestag. And Rahman hustles in, gets the rebound, puts it up. I mean, she is bringing the energy and the size.
She is, and you know, she I believe is the player who has the 4 Belgium bench points, and she has done a great job. But like you said, she's probably the most improved for this Belgium team at this EuroBasket.
Well, they have tied it with that, and now Friskiewicz drives in and Messelman with the rebound. Up ahead it goes to Delar, and Belgium has stormed back to take the lead. Unbelievable. They looked dead in the water.
And they looked fatigued at the beginning of the game. And maybe they had to get used to the style of play and the pace of this Slovenian team. And now they've settled in a little bit more.
Well, they reach in, they force, well, they try to tie up, and now a foul. The Polish referee calls the foul. I think Rahman was frustrated because they had 3 players there, potentially tying her up. But I'll tell you what, they have literally risen from the dead in this game and come back to take the lead.
You know, I think less than, 3 game minutes ago, I would not have guessed that Belgium would be up 2 points with 16.8 seconds left until halftime.
Well, they have outscored them in this quarter, 24-12. Baric now with possession, will try to take it down as far as she can. 3 seconds, 2, she penetrates, bounce pass to Evans. And shot clock violation, so the turnover gives it back to Belgium, and they're going to use a timeout here at the end of the first half. Trying to get something else.
You know, you mentioned it was 24-12 for Belgium in this quarter, and I believe that this halftime couldn't come at a faster time for Slovenia because they need a break, they need to recover, they need to take that time. Some instructions at halftime. So really, you know, we saw this happen in group play. They didn't do a good job of stopping the bleeding when teams went on runs, and this is what's happened here in the second quarter. There you see 10 assists to 7, which, you know, Belgium characteristically is a great assist team. And also what surprises me even more are those 7 turnovers. They're a team that does not turn the ball over. They only turn it over 11 times in this tournament so far.
I have Jan on the same side. Go in the back.
Well,
right? Like this, into the ball.
The powers
Pass
of
it,
recovery,
maybe
the
shoot.
spider
Emma,
cam
you go with this back
overhead,
pick. Okay, we only have 1 second, I know. But sprint behind this, and hey, if you have to shoot from half court,
they're going to try to get a deep
okay?
pass. You can hear it.
Come on, let's go, let's go.
Deep pass up ahead.
Try and get a Christian Leitner type shot.
I don't think so. I think they're going to try to get a layup. I mean, that's plenty of time.
Yeah, 2.7. I mean, you can even catch and make a pass to a cutter with that kind of time.
Is there going to be a pick?
I think it's going to be a pick for Julie Almond, and then you have a back screen for Mestag here.
We'll get it to Messamon. Well, she doesn't mess around. She had a full second and a half. Perhaps, well, maybe a second. She took it a little bit. Anyway, I think Belgium will take that comeback, and Slovenia, it's just time for them to regroup, and you wonder about their confidence after blowing that huge lead. Belgium on top at halftime, 34-32.
Got a quick look at some stats at the halftime here. I mean, good job by Belgium. They were shooting in the 20s heading into the second quarter. Now they've moved that up 46%. And rebounds, I mean, they just came back. They made it difficult for Slovenia, and they were able to rebound and push the ball a little bit more. 10 assists for Slovenia. When you have Oblak and Baric, you're going to have a high assist team. Here we see some top scorers. Julie Almond, who has been dared to shoot by Slovenia with 16 points, 8 points from Oblak and Baric. What's surprising there is, for me, you don't see the name Messamon in one of the top scorers of this tournament, of this game so far. She is the second leading scorer in this tournament. She has just, and you know what? I want to say, you can't say she's had a bad game. She hasn't been able to do anything because of how good the defense has been against her. So really, they've made it tough. I mean, she has 3 turnovers, incredibly uncharacteristic. She only has 4 points, 2 of 7 shooting. I think, considering Emma Messman only has 4 points, and you're up 2 points after being down almost 14, I think you said, Jeff? You got to feel pretty good about yourselves if you're Belgium right now.
It's all excitement right now here at the women's EuroBasket. 34-32, Belgium on top at the break. We'll be right back before the start of the second half.
I još jedna pozicija. Podrška kreće iz porodice, roda. Ispred dvorane Arena, naravno, obiđite fan zonu i u fan zoni roda KSS Shop. Zvanična oprema svih naših reprezentacija i svih naših selekcija. Naravno, u fan zoni tokom svih ovih dana mogu i ostali da se igraju. Mateuš, ajde na slovenačkom, pozdravi sve navijače Slovenije. Ajmo Slovenija, ajde! Ajmo! Mateuš inače igra i košarku u Cirihu u Švajcarskoj. Opa! Gremo, Mateuš! Opa! Ajmo sad malo kao Luka Dončić. Kako ja kažem, danas u košarci najvažnije zvati se Luka. Sad, da li je Luka Dončić ili neki drugi Luka? Opa! Luka Mateuš Dončić. Opa! I još jednom Mateuš. Bravo! Sad, Peter je isto iz Beograda, iz Srbije, Petar Konferni. Tri momka, jedan je iz Beograda, ali je malo u Ljubljani, a jedan je malo iz Ljubljane, ali u Cirihu. Bumo dobili po majicu. Ajmo sva trojica, izvolite. Podrška kreće iz porodice roda. Sa nama su i Triglav, Nis, Heba, Lasta, Tesla i roda. Hvala vam, momci, još jednom. Thank you again. Biće još nekih nagrada za navijače.
In
Cut. Backdoor, pass the ball, and we still can have the backdoor cut to get open Emma. Okay.
Evo ga, opa!
9 seconds. Penetration, Pulvari for three, really needed to drop. And it does. Johnson outside, puts it on the floor and just goes. Oh, it's blocked. Like Bentley says, this is my house, right? Johanovic behind the back, gets inside, beautiful. Perfect Bentley. Little jump shot for two is good. Halverson knows nowhere to go, wide open. Zowie for three. Got it!
I really like to see that Swedish side doesn't force any passes.
Well, Niko Baric, 8 points, 5 assists, but Slovenia, after going up with a double-digit lead, find themselves trailing 34-32 at halftime to Belgium, who found the drew in the powers of recovery. I mean, it was not looking good for Belgium, but here they are now, back in it and back in it to win it. We'll see how this pans out over the next 20 minutes. Shona.
Yeah, you know, looking here at the stats, Slovenia had a 15-point lead when it was 12-27, and they only finished with 32 points. So that was, you talked about a storm back. I mean, Belgium went on a 10-0 scoring run to really cut into the lead, and then were able to take the lead after that. So I think, you know what, they calmed down a little bit, and they played a little bit more the style of play that we are used to seeing come from Belgium, and that's the reason why they're up right now. And honestly, a few minutes ago, in the second quarter, we would not have guessed that Belgium would be up too. But I think there's a reason why this team is the bronze medalist from the 2017 Women's EuroBasket. They finished 4th at last year's 2018 FIBA Women's World Cup. They're talented and they are experienced now. Slovenia, to me, are lacking that experience. Yes, they have experienced players in Baric, in Oblak. Lisic has experience, but she's only 24 years old. So this is where you see, in my opinion, Belgium maybe going to take over. And you keep telling me, Jeff, that Slovenia just don't really believe yet. And maybe that's kind of the difference. Belgium believe because they have proved it to themselves already.
Is there a point when you learn how to deliver a knockout punch?
I mean, yeah, I think it's sort of been the Achilles heels of this Slovenian team. We've seen them up, we've seen them go on runs, and they just, for some reason, let teams come back, go on bigger runs than them, and they can't stop the bleeding. It lasts way too long. And in the games that they lost in group phase, we really saw that happen to them, and they couldn't figure out how to slow it down even. So, you know, and I keep saying, I think it's inexperience, and you're gonna, you know, probably say, and they also don't really believe. And until you can do it, it's hard to believe it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let's don't forget also, they could easily have 42 points. They could possibly have 50 points. They missed some real makeable shots.
And what's a little scary for me, you know, watching the first half of this game, like you said, I think Slovenia missed shots. We saw them miss a few open layups. Yeah, a little, you know, it was against defense, but they were still open layups. So,
listen, let's go 5 down.
You know, I think it's important to realize that they are getting great shots. So stay with that. Have confidence in your shots that you're going to knock it down.
Pass, Leo, Obi. Pass, Leo, Obi out. Shah out. Sleep. If it's nothing, 2-on-2 game. Okay. Hey. Some more defense, hey. Point after. If this doesn't work, we go on the 4 side like that. We take away. They cannot come into a dropping action with you. 4 side for you. Next time. Let's start playing defense.
I always find it interesting that in that Belgian huddle, usually what you hear is English, because obviously in Belgium they speak French, they speak Flemish, and they use English as the language.
Yes, and I remember we asked about that, I think, in 2017, and it's like a ministry sports rule that their national teams have to be in English. They you know, they are required, the coaching staff to the players are required to talk to their players in English for that reason, because it is a mixture of French-speaking and Flemish-speaking countries. So to cause no wars inside your country, they just say, you know what, let's go with English.
Well, I've got to be honest. I had the joy of going to Belgium recently, going to Antwerp, and I'm telling you, I'm going back. I mean, it is an amazing country. The people there were so friendly, and who knows, one day the EuroBasket women will be there. Well, welcome back, folks. from your dinner break, or perhaps you nipped out to walk the dog. We are now in the third quarter, and Prezel drives in and scores, and that's an impressive move for Slovenia, knowing exactly what they want and tying it up.
And you know, she had that two points early in the first quarter, and then we really didn't see a lot of her after that because she wasn't aggressive. Again, they're forcing Alaman to shoot. You saw Baric off, and this is how Slovenia
That's how they play.
It is beautiful. I keep saying it's beautiful basketball. I don't know how else to describe it. I love the pace that they play with. Even in the quarter court, the pace that they play with is fast, it's aggressive.
Well, they've got 2 layups in the first 40 seconds of the second half. Mestak tries to get it to Linskens. She's not able to control it. The ball turns over to Teja Oblak. And she's looking again. Now Baric for 3, and almost unlucky for Baric. Looked like it was going in, it rimmed out. Lisets grabs the rebound. And she goes in, and it's blocked by Linskens. Delar avoids the charge, gets it back to Messamon, and then she tries to get it to Alamon.
And that was one of those, I think it's an uncharacteristic, there you see the block by Linskens. That's an uncharacteristic pass, in my opinion, from Messamon. You know, she's a lot smarter player than that. She should have gone up for that. She was going to go up for a layup against Oba. You know, she can easily make that. There you see the turnovers. 9 turnovers already for this Belgium team, who have only averaged 11 in this tournament.
How do you like that shot selection by Eva Lisets?
She hasn't played in the last couple games, and I think she's trying to find her rhythm. You know, at a tournament like this, a lot of games in a few days, to not play in a couple.
How about this? They get it down low, and Mestak scores.
You know, as a player, you wanna find your rhythm, and you're gonna. Having not played, it's going to take you a little while to find it. So I understand why she took it.
Baric misses the layup there now. Alamon has it. And Mestak, such a big three-point weapon. Now the pass, and this time Linskens fumbles it away. And it's back to Slovenia and Lisets, and again, she misses the layup. And it's a case on both ends of the floor, both teams making mistakes and missing some shots. 36 apiece. Delar over to Alamon. Now Baric crosses midcourt. Baric back to Lisets. Oblak pulls up, gets blocked. The ball goes to Lisets, and she scores. Was that a shot?
I think it was a pass. I think she wanted to shoot and then realized she was going to get blocked. And, you know, to me, that's an assist. So, you know, Lisets, you kind of talked about her shot selection a little bit, but she does have 9 points. And I said for them to win tonight and be successful, she needs to also score. And I think she's done a pretty good job for them already.
Messamon over to Mestak for 3. Good! That's the Belgium you expect to see.
Yeah, really, they've come out. I mean, both teams have come out here, and what I like is that Belgium's not.
Good hands by Mestak. Then Alamon hustles to the ball, but Lisets beats her there. Teja Oblak has it right in front of the Belgian bench. She drives, she scores! She did a couple of times for Slovenia in this half.
And we talked a little bit at halftime about how I'm surprised how open and good looks Slovenia is getting. I think it's a little uncharacteristic because typically I would say Belgium is a very good defensive team, and I don't know if they're fatigued. I don't know if it's their scouting report, but really Slovenia have had great looks.
Linskens puts one up. And now the pass up ahead. This is where Slovenia are good. Oh boy, Oblak took a bump. Messamon fakes the shot and is fouled by Teja Oblak.
Who, you know, that was a foul, but I think she actually was just sort of in the wrong place at the wrong time because Messamon really went into her with the dribble.
Linskens out and Rahman comes back in. Corner by Mestak. and Delar. Oh, she missed another layup.
And you know, we've seen Belgium do a lot better job of cutting to the basket when the double team is happening or when there's penetrators. And that's clearly something that Coach Mesdag talked about, I think, at halftime. Like, hey, we got to keep moving.
Well, Prezel for three. Good! To a 4-point advantage. With 7 points now. Messamon drives in, gets contact by Lisets.
First personal foul.
Here is the shot from Brazil. I would say that she's probably their best shooter in terms of her shooting stroke.
And I would say her pull-up, I mean, right there we saw her knock down a three. I would say her pull-up is incredibly, you know what, she's consistent. She has, you know, we said earlier in the broadcast, she has been one of the most consistent players, able to score in double figures every single game. So clearly she's a good shooter. They didn't really, in my opinion, go to her enough in the first half of this game.
It off to Badic. A good D by Emma Messamon, but then Shante Evans takes it right back. Gets it to Prezel, who puts it up, and boy!
And I just talked about that pull-up jumper, and what did she do? She kind of had a shot, but then maybe gets more rhythm after having a dribble.
Rahman for three, and that's an air ball. But you know what? It's the Shante Evans factor, getting the steal, which leads to another opportunity, and gives them this shot right here. So it's little things that Evans does that gives her team a chance to win ball games. Badic with a little left-handed reverse. And Mesdag has seen enough as Slovenia have come out stronger in this second half. Again, Badic not afraid to go in.
No. And you know, I talked a little bit right before halftime that this halftime is coming at the exact correct time for the Slovenian team because they needed to slow down Belgium. They didn't have an answer. And you've seen them come out. They're relaxed. They're playing more their style.
On side picks, we go in ice. Right? Coming into the ball, play defense like this. Pick. Right? Don't go in.
And then here you see the percentages from three for both teams.
All right? Now we control the situation now, okay? On this, hey, we need to be ready to bring help over here. Hey,
their free throw percentage. Slovenia's only got to the line 3 times. You're able to hear Coach Mesdag of Belgium talk. So there, Teo Oblak, 12 points. Leading her team in scoring right now. And a lot of those points have come in transition. So, you know, that's something that I keep saying. This Slovenian team are incredibly good at running transition, but it's controlled transition. They make the correct reads in transition. So it's fun to see. And then in that timeout, we saw Coach Mesdag. So he's going to switch up his on-ball defense. You know, a lot of coaches call it ice. And they're actually going to force baseline and have help on the midline.
Oh, what a pass, what a pass. Good find. Makes sense if you're being double and triple teamed, somebody's got to be open, and they just go straight to the basket. That time it was Julie Alamont. Prezel drives in. Oh, cruel. The basketball gods not allowing that one to fall over. Will fall into the hoop. Oh, great catch by Messamon. What hands. And just like that, coming out of the timeout.
I mean, there's a reason why Messamon is one of the top players in the world. Not just Europe, in the world.
The dump to Evans, and she was fouled by Rahman.
She was an All-Star 5 at last year's FIBA Basketball World Cup. Emma.
Yeah, of course.
We're on a first-name basis now.
As well
Emma.
as at the EuroBasket the year before that. penetration by Baric. She gets it over to Friskovic, who misses. Alemán able to get that ball. Jakobina, excuse me, missed the three-pointer. And now Alemán drains the two. Long two. Baric drifts to her right. Now Evans open for three. Good! Oh no, that was a two.
How many times have we seen her shoot this incredibly long two, kind of toes on the line?
Yeah, just take it back a step, Evans.
I mean, not even a step.
Oh, beautiful composure, but she doesn't make the shot. Nevertheless, Belgium seem to have figured some things out in terms of getting better looks inside. Penetration, and Messamon knows if she goes in there, the ball is coming back to her.
Team substitution, Slovenia. In number 13, Zala Friskovic, and 12, Lisets out, number 30, Shante Evans.
So Evans gets a well-deserved breather. She goes over, and Lisets coming back into the game, and Messamon makes the first one. I tell you, I was impressed by her catching that ball, those hands on that tough shot. I saw the same thing out of Temi Fakbenley yesterday from Great Britain. I don't know if you watched, but I was mesmerized by her ability to catch the ball in the low box. There's good players in this tournament. Now again, Walters comes back into the game. For Messamon, and also Hannah Mestag has checked in. Good hands by Walters, forcing the turnover. Alemán to Waters, back to Alemán. Into Waters, who passes it back. Good work, good patience here by Belgium. And then Rahman throws it away. Baric left open, and Lisets gets the rebound. It's a tie game right now. Couldn't be any closer. And, another missed layup
Really,
for Jakobina.
the amount of good looks, missed layups, missed jump shots Slovenia has had. If they end up losing this game, I think that's something that they're going to look back on and say, oh man, we missed shots that we normally make and could have made easily.
And Mestag, what she needs to do, she needs to knock down that three. Really, she's going to be in the game. And Baric, Jakobina for three. And good job by Walters knocking the ball out. Alemán. And Slovenia wanting a travel. Now Waters, and fouled down low by Jakobina or Friskovic? I think it's Friskovic.
And you know, that's disappointing when you want a travel call and you actually end up getting a call against you. It wasn't here, it was early in the transition. I think the Slovenian fans, the Slovenian bench thought maybe Belgium had travels.
I think it was Alemán, wasn't it?
Yeah, in transition, she kind of stopped and looked like maybe she shuffled her feet.
So Waters, she's been the Belgian Athlete of the Year.
She's been the EuroLeague Player of the Year in the past.
This is the first one. Takes her time and makes the second.
And just to give you an idea, I mean, she's 39 years old, turning 39 this year, and she's a mother of two, and she is still competing at one of the highest levels in her sport. And that is absolutely.
Baric, oh boy, just the rim is not kind to Slovenia. That looked like it was in and came out. Slovenia did a great job of tying up Messamon there, but the possession error goes over to Belgium, who have a 1-point lead. Look at that. That ball is oh so close to going down.
And again, it's one of those where, you know, it looks like they had these great shots, good opportunities, and really if they had knocked down just half of those attempts, I feel like they should be up about 10 right now to Belgium. And that's what, you know, is worrying me a little bit about this Belgium team, because Slovenia have had great looks.
Great attention by Slovenia, but a little bit too much contact there and getting the foul called.
And you know, for you and I, Jeff, and the people watching, we have the advantage because we can see replays.
I'm not sure.
Who that is?
I'm wondering.
Are they hiding from us?
Mr.
Number 9 from Slovenia, Nika Baric.
Damir Grgic having words with the referee. Mestag makes both free throws to take it up to a 3-point lead. 11 of 12 at the line, Belgium. 2 of 3 for Slovenia.
There you see the free throw percentages. Belgium have gone 12 times compared to just 3 for Slovenia.
Now Slovenia get 2 back. Viškovic and now Van Loo with a little bit of pressure. Oh, they find Waters down low. Beautiful bounce pass, Waters, and Mestag goes up and draws the foul. And I'll tell you what, I think Waters has had some struggles in this game, but in this third quarter, she has been excellent. I mean, she's making the pass. Look at that. She's not a scoring center now, she's passing, you know?
Nika Baric.
Mestag rattles it in. And doesn't get the second one to go. Always curious when you see a good three-point shooter miss free throws. I don't know why it happens. Oh, and that's going to be a foul on Baric. She kind of threw her left shoulder and raised her arm a little bit and knocked Van Loo out. Although I think Van Loo is probably looking for the contact. Look at this.
That might have been a good sell by.
That was definitely a good sell
by Van Loo, and you know, one of those where the ref's going to go back and look at that and probably realize that it wasn't the correct call. But I understand why his positioning, he called it. It's one of those.
Baric didn't really complain though.
Well, because she has 4 fouls.
Yeah,
which you know, she has to go out. I don't know how long she'll be on the bench in the fourth quarter. So you don't want to pick up a technical.
Over to Mestag for 3. He's in and out. And Viškovic hits the backboard. Well, it's anybody's game, folks. Belgium, with 10 minutes remaining, leading 53-51.
Get a quick look at the stats here. You know, you see Belgium shooting 50% from 2, 86% from the free throw line. I think that's what's separating them right now from Slovenia. They're doing a good job. 40% is a good shooting percentage.
Make it fair once again. If they go.
(53-51), Belgium on top of Slovenia here in the break between the third and fourth quarters. And, well, the way this game started, we thought Slovenia were going to run away with it. They're up 20-10 at the end of the first quarter. And then Belgium came storming back to lead at halftime. Slovenia reclaimed the lead in third quarter, but then right at the end, Belgium came back, and now heading into the fourth, 53-51. Remember, these two teams need to win this game if they want to have any hope of going to the Olympics.
Exactly, Jeff, and I think that's what's on their minds right now. Maybe a little bit more for Belgium, because I think they're the experienced team. They're the team that, you know, there's some people who thought that they had a good opportunity of getting gold. And right now, you see they only have a 2-point lead over Slovenia. The last 10 minutes, who wants it more is my question.
Yeah, that was a great block. I don't know if it was Messaman or Rahman, but Preza was blocked, and now Rahman runs the floor, and then Messaman hustles down and knocks it back outside. If she grabbed it, she might have been able to go up and score. Shot clock down to 4. Rahman goes baseline. Oh, the cutter, and I don't think she's got it off in time. Twelve turnovers against Belgium, 6 for Slovenia. How long will it be before we see Alemang re-enter the game? She's been really the star performer today for Belgium. Now a foul by Delors.
Almost in every quarter, we've seen Slovenia be able to come out, and they were the aggressors. They were scoring, they were getting up. And then it's as though near the end of the quarter, they take their foot off the gas a little bit and let the other team come back.
Well, here's Oblak, goes up with the left hand. Evans there for the putback. We've got a tie game, folks. 9 minutes remaining. Julie Van Loo. Rahman open. Misses badly, and a great box out by Lises.
That's her second air ball from 3 in this half, Jeff. So
I don't think it's her strength.
I don't. And you know what she's been really good at for this team, though, is penetrating aggressively, because she has the ability to finish, but also the ability to pass. And we saw her 2 possessions ago in the third drive aggressively and be able to pass to the cutter going to the basket. And I think that's what she needs to you know, go back to do for this Belgium team.
Yeah, Rahman came into this quarter having scored 4 points, had 5 rebounds, 3 assists. So she's been helping in a variety of ways. Now Oblak feels the defense and goes up and is fouled by Delors. Terrific, terrific play by Oblak. Took the contact. Now with a chance for a 3-point lead. And once again, it seems almost as if Belgium a little bit out of sync offensively. Here's some full court pressure. Now if they beat the press, they can hustle up. And Trskowitz gets back to play defense on Mestad. The pass back to Rahman. Alemang thought about driving in. Rahman this time doesn't settle for the 3. Goes in and blocked by Evans. Oblak again. She's had some joy getting it inside, but then she tried to get it to Evans, and Messaman steals the ball, and she handles the ball so well she's able to bring it up and draw the foul on Oblak.
You know, we saw her on offense. You said, look at those hands. And she just has, there you see the, maybe Evans got a little bit away with one. I thought it was a great job by Rahman of attacking the basket instead of settling for the 3. But Emma Messman, you know, we talk about how good she is, how good her hands are on offense after a pick and roll or a cut to the basket. It also translates to defense as well. She's able to get touches on the ball, steals, and then her dribbling, her ball handling ability.
Rahman, maybe more of her range there. Just on the edge of the lane, drilling it. By the way, that was Oblak's 4th foul, so that is a player they do not want to lose.
No, and you know, we haven't seen Baric yet.
Oh, she gets blocked by it. Messaman, well guarded by Naulas, and chance to go in front.
Two of the leaders, two of the...
Alamon jumper, good! Belgium in front, and Damir Grgic has to burn another timeout.
I mean, I almost feel like he has to go with Oblak and Baric, even though both of them do have... I think right there you see Oblak get blocked by, I'm going to believe it's Messman.
Yeah, it was Messman.
It's 1-on-2 against a very good defender, and then look, this is what happens when you come down. Julie Almond, open shot. I mean, I know you got to be aggressive and you got to try and score if you're Slovenia, but
hey, when it's not pick and roll,
it's kind of go time. And in my opinion, I think coach needs to put Baric back in the game.
She will get the ball. Try to pass the ball down. Okay.
This is do or die, right?
Yeah, it is.
So here you see the rebounding, just a slight advantage for Belgium. 10 offensive rebounds. That surprises me. Going into this game, I probably would have said Belgium have the advantage on the O pass. But a lot about rebounding is hustle.
Field goal percentage slightly better for Belgium, but Slovenia with more makes. It's Belgium with a 1-point lead. More success at the free throw line tonight. So you're right, Baric back in the game. It's go time, now or never. Oh, beautiful pass from Evans. Great cut by Prezel.
And what I love is almost every time Slovenia calls a timeout, they come out and execute perfectly on offense. There you see 11 points for Prezel. She started the third really well, and then again they went away from her, I believe.
Alamon not as successful here in this half. She was in the first when she had 16 points. Almost a steal, but three-pointer was there. Good box out. And the ball goes back to Belgium. Alamon with
22 points. It was not that bad of a day's
6
work.
points in the second half.
And you know, we talked about Alamond and her performance at last year's FIBA Women's World Cup.
How about Sinichar coming off the bench and making a big block? Apparently she's
and here, you know, you got to be
school.
careful. There's 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Messaman puts it up, drains the jumper.
And who do you go to?
Well, that's called being aware of the situation. In good hands, but Evans comes up with it, and Rahman called for a foul.
And you know, I don't disagree with that foul because I think Slovenia have had a couple calls go against them that were very similar type situations. So, you know, we always talk about, you and I, Jeff, maybe refs make mistakes here and there during the course of a game, but it typically evens out.
Prezel misses now. Rebound and run for Alamon. Evans back on good job on defense. And this time, Sinichar, a little bit of contact with Mestag, and Mestag draws the foul.
She might have run into her own teammate here.
Slovenia number 7, Maroša
Yeah, tough situation.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, it's going to be a Heartbreak Hotel that one of these teams will be checking into after tonight's game. I'll tell you that right now. 5.5 minutes remaining. It's a 1-point game. Shot clock winding down. Alamon goes in with the left hand. Good strong rebound by Friškovic. Prezel. Over to Baric. Evans working on Rahman for three. Short.
Maybe that's why she didn't shoot threes. She was just
that-
a little short. The
couple
shot
of
looked great,
inches.
yeah.
couple of inches further out.
And you know, I don't think coach is too happy with that offense by Slovenia. The last possession. I mean, you saw Baric try and go one-on-one, didn't have anything, and then sort of Evans had to settle for a shot because of this shot clock situation.
Mesdag has to come out and take the ball from Brahma. Not much time on the clock. Mesdag nowhere to go, tries to split the defense. Great defense by Slovenia. And Baric has to hold it up. Oh, she gets inside. Oh, she this time decided to take it to the rim. And it's Slovenia back in front by 1.
And look, Baric is guarding Alaman right now. And she is nowhere even close to her. It's sort of a matchup zone type situation that Slovenia has decided to try and play here tonight.
Off target for Messamon, and now here's Baric again. She drives in, hands it off to Evans, and she draws the foul and earns a trip to the line.
And I mentioned at the beginning of this quarter, who wants it more? And this little stretch right here by Slovenia, I think you see them being the aggressors, on defense. Great job on defense against Kim Mesdag trying to drive to the basket there. You saw Baric's take. You saw a take by Evans. She didn't settle for an outside shot. She went aggressive, and I've always talked about how, defensively or offensively, whoever decides to be more aggressive usually gets the advantage. They get the call for them, whether it's defensively, you come up with a steal or you get a stop. Offensively, if you go aggressively, you're more than likely going to draw a foul or get a good look or open something up for your teammates. And that's what you saw by Evans, taking a great defender in Emma Messman off the dribble.
Both of you there by the spider cam. Now the Slovenian fans are up, starting to believe this could be their year. And Evans takes it to a 3-point advantage. Alamon penetrates, gets it back to Messamon. The pass to Talar. Messamon, oh boy. Prezel almost getting the steal. Messamon hands it off. Boy, what patience and what a finish.
I don't even know what to say about that. I think it was actually great defense.
It was. I mean, Prezel almost got the steal.
Maybe even better poise by Belgium. It wasn't the best offense, but a lot of poise by the Belgium team.
Yeah, you're right. And Banic for 3. And the box out. No, you said it beautifully. I mean, it was great defense and beautiful poise by Belgium.
And we have 3 minutes left in this game, and I'm wondering if experience.
Mesdag drives in, can't get it to go, and Evans with the rebound. She's hounded down low. Slovenia appealing for a foul, and they finally get it on Messamon. Referees giving some looks over there at that Slovenia bench because they were definitely shouting for a foul to be called here.
And I think you see the Slovenian fans approach the bench getting up in arms because Slovenia do commit a lot of fouls. I think they're aggressive and I think they're warranted fouls, but they're probably like, hey, how come we can't get a couple fouls? And you always, especially if you're the underdogs, which clearly the Slovenian team is here tonight and in this tournament, I might add, you always feel like nothing goes your way and people, referees always kind of want to protect the big teams. You feel like that as a player. So I understand why they were so energetic in asking for that foul call.
Evans makes 2 more big free throws. Now to Messamon, and Messamon is fouled, misses the shot, and she's probably kicking herself because she thinks she should have made the basket and had a chance to tie it.
And I mentioned a little bit, I just think coming down this last 2:44 left in this game, it's going to come down to one who wants it more, but it also might come down to experience and poise. And maybe Belgium has the edge over Slovenia, but maybe also they have the nerves because they are the ones who probably should advance. You know, if we're just looking at the last couple years and what both these two teams have done, absolutely, you know, people were talking about Belgium being on the podium this year.
Here's Oblak, she drives in. And the ball goes out of bounds. In fairness to Slovenia, they faced some adversity today and they have been hanging tough. And here they are with a 1-point lead and possession. Resets, inbounds it to Evans, who hands it off to Baric. Now it's Oblak. Gets it back to Evans. He goes to Prezel, who can shoot it. And Messamon, who else, grabs the rebound. Calling the play, Messamon. Now Delard. Mestag. Hits the cutter. Aleman missed the layup. And it looked like she was put off her shot there by the presence of Lisets.
Yeah, you know, I've talked about how I think Slovenia have definitely missed opportunities, some missed layups, some missed shots, but I could say the same about Belgium, and that's a perfect example.
So here's Lisets, guarded by Rahman. She's going to go in. She's going to score. No, she's going to miss it. Slovenia, though, hustle and get the ball back to Evans. Terrific effort by Oblak.
For me right there, that was who wants it more, and Oblak's the one who came up with it. And that plays like that could be the decider.
And now Baric is tripped up. And Belgium already over the limit, so Slovenia going to the line. Belgium could not have asked for a better opportunity to score at the other end, but Alemán missed the layup. And now Baric, who's missed some free throws in this tournament, misses another one.
Baric, she hasn't shot a whole lot in this tournament, but she is only shooting 58% from the free throw line in the tournament. So that's something that Belgium knows. And if this game comes down to the wire like it is right now, maybe you go ahead and foul her and you put the pressure on her to score.
She made 1 of 2 to take it to a 2-point lead. And now traveling is called on Messamon, and she has just thrown the ball over in frustration over the back. She needs to be careful. She doesn't want to.
You see some turnovers.
14-7. She was flirting with disaster there. Messamon talking about composure.
Still a lot of time left in this game. It's only a 2-point lead for Slovenia. I mean, a minute 15 is forever.
Well, they get it to Evans, though, and will not go down. Belgium riding their luck again.
And
over to Mestag now. Mestag bumped by Prezel. So Slovenia have now committed 4 fouls. Any more will put Belgium on the line.
And I wonder, going into this game, both these teams had an off day yesterday. Were they telling themselves, was Slovenia telling themselves, you know what, we could kind of be that fairy tale team that made a run like Belgium did in 2017?
Certainly bounced back from a dismal performance against Italy. Rahman over to Alemán for 3! Belgium go back in front.
And you know what? That was great defense by Slovenia. It is exactly what coach asks for. It's what they've been doing all game. And wow, does she just step up, and she didn't even hesitate. And that's what I love. The other few times that I think she's missed open shots is because she's hesitated. And that's a big 3. I mean, you're up 1, 48 seconds left. Both teams are going to be in bonus in the next foul. She has 25 points, Jeff. This is a woman who averaged just over 7 points last year in the World Cup. 8 points, because she was averaging over 8 assists at the World Cup also, but she doesn't look for herself. She really, you know, she's more of a distributor, more of a pass-first point guard, and I think Slovenia had a good defensive plan. They've kind of said, hey, Belgium, can you beat us with only Julie Alba? We're going to guard Mestag, we're going to guard Messman. Here you see some shooting percentages by both teams. And I guess we'll find out if
You will
Belgium
come
can pull
into the
this
ball.
off. There you go,
Other
19
players go
assists,
to the
14
side,
turnovers,
and you
only
play
7
one-on-one
turnovers by
advantage.
Slovenia. They did a
One-on-one.
great job protecting
Right?
the ball tonight.
One.
What a great shot. I don't know if you saw Damir Grgic yelling at the end of that timeout, "Now is the time." And boy, did he get a reaction from his team. But those are the numbers from Allemand, who's just basically carried Belgium tonight.
I'm not sure she has ever shot 19 times in her life. She's going to have to put some ice on that right shooting shoulder of hers later.
Well, Oblak has it. What play have they called in the timeout? It's to dump it back to Evans. Prezel gets on the baseline. Mestag. Lisa, it's called for a foul. And
Mestag is going to the line. And she is not the person that you want to put on the free throw line, Jeff. And you know what? That's a tough call. I mean, Prezel was just being aggressive. Here we get to take a look.
okay,
It's kind
she's
of a
there.
scramble. That was a quick foul call, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Mestag did a good job of
Turning.
yeah, exactly. So, and you know,
Wow.
I kind of feel for Slovenia a little
They've
bit.
lost their best-
There we go.
their best shooter,
best
Prezel.
jump shooter, Prezel. One of the most consistent players on this team for them in this tournament. Wow, I mean, the last few possessions offensively for Slovenia, they have had great looks. Great looks.
Can you believe the great
the ball
free
just
throw
doesn't go
shooter
down.
for
Just missed,
Mestag?
yeah.
You have given her the commentator's curse.
She's shot over 80% for them here in this tournament.
She makes 1 of 2, though. Takes it up to a 2-point lead. Will Slovenia look for a 2, or might they take a 3 if they're open?
You know, I think you're going to go for a 2-pointer. You're going to use a little bit of the clock, but not too much, because you also want to be able to have an opportunity if you need to score.
Oblak gets it inside, misses. Lisets gets it back. Belgium battle for the ball. And they can review it if they thought it went off of Belgium in this situation.
I mean,
I thought it looked
you and
like it
I-
went off
yeah,
Belgium,
I
but
thought
it might
easily
be our
went off
angle. Watch
Belgium.
this.
You know what? No one's complaining. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, it went off Lisets. You're right.
And
Right at the end.
another great attack, aggressive look by
Just can't get
Oblak.
it to go down.
We've seen Oblak miss in the last minute. We've seen Evans have a great post move miss. We've seen Lisets miss in the last minute. I mean, they've had opportunities, Jeff.
Let's listen to Mestag as he talks to his players. See what he's going to do. See the rebounding numbers.
I will go in our hands. So they're gonna think that we're gonna work to get open camp. I have Emma. Shirley, you give in the ball. Right? You give in the ball. Right? We go. Fake. You come into the ball. They will make immediately a foul. If not, Shirley go in the handle. Right? And after we play. Okay? Jana, you come up. You set the screen. Right? And we have this is our regular hand.
Yeah, so you heard Coach Mestag there. There you see fast break points, 17-9 for Slovenia. They do have to foul, Slovenia do, but you know, right away what you're gonna try and do is you're gonna try and go for that quick steal off the inbounds. Like those of you who watched Serbia against Belgium.
Yep.
You go for a steal
the
first,
steal.
and then if you don't get the steal, you go for a quick foul. But be careful, because you and I just have our unsportsmanlike foul manuals in front of us that we were kindly given by the referees. So you got to go for the ball.
Just to reconfirm what we already knew. There you go. Oh, and that was an unsportsmanlike. Proshel grabbed Messamon's jersey from behind, and that might just have done it for Slovenia's chances.
And
Watch right.
Take a look.
She's going to catch it, and then as she turns, she gets it with the left arm. Look at that. See that? It's an easy call for the referee.
Clearly, she grabs the jersey, and you know what? It wasn't even that hard.
Easy. Oh, clear. 11, clear. Unsportsmanlike foul.
Man, you know, how many times have we seen that in critical situations? We can talk about 2017.
Oh boy, you feel bad for Slovenia, but you know what? You have to learn how to lose before you win. The last EuroBasket, they weren't able to get out of that first group phase. At least this time, they've made it to the qualification for the quarterfinals. I think what hurts in this one is they probably had a chance to win this one, numerous chances, and they have not taken advantage.
I think they have. It's still not over. It's a 2-possession game. It's only a 4-point game. You got to get a steal here. You got to get a quick.
2 seconds. Yep.
You got to get a steal.
Mestag has it, and she was bumped by Lisa.
And they let 4 seconds, just under 4 seconds, get off the clock, and it's too much time. I mean, I think Lisette should have fouled Messman when Messman got the inbounds pass, but you know what? They were intimidated, and they were worried about not getting an anti-sportsmanship foul. An unsportsmanship foul call against them because it had just happened.
Spit it out. Come on.
Mixing some French into that. And you put one of the best free throw shooters in this tournament to the line. You're down 4, 6.7 seconds.
If you are Belgium in this situation, you just don't foul. You don't foul.
Oh, absolutely not. You don't even take a risk. You know what? If they want to shoot a 3, if they want to shoot a layup, whatever they want to do, you let them do it because. I just got to stop talking when she shoots free throws.
You even give them a layup. You don't challenge.
No. You don't want a obvious timeout here by Slovenia so they can advance the ball.
Look at the Cats. The Cats. Hey, no problem, Belgium. You had it all along. You had it in the bag from the very beginning. Not so fast. This is going to be their second win if they can hold on. And you know what? It's been a worrying performance. I'm sure that they feel like they've gotten away with one tonight.
I think this Belgium team, after the last 2 games, you saw that kind of last-second loss to Serbia. Here you see points in the paint. Slow advantage for Slovenia, which also surprises me. So. If Belgium advanced, Jeff, they've had 2 incredibly tough games in a row. They must be mentally and physically fatigued. It is an off day here in Belgrade, Serbia before the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, you have to tip your hat to Belgium because they have had to come back and play good basketball in this game. But there is no question about it. They've gotten away with one tonight because Slovenia had them on the ropes if they make a lot of their shots. I mean, if they make just a couple more shots, how many misses have we seen? Belgium has missed a couple of layups themselves, so.
Yeah, it's tough because anything is possible. It's still only a 2-possession game. They have to get a very, very quick score here. I mean, I'm talking a score right off the bat. It has to be almost a catch and shoot from the out of bounds.
Well, they advance the ball. And why do you foul her? This is exactly what I'm talking about, Shona. You know the situation. You don't challenge the shooter.
No, it doesn't matter if you win by 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4, 5. And it's a 3. And they're going to review and they're going to make sure that how much time is left. And I said, Slovenia needs to go and take a shot right out of the inbounds. No dribble, no nothing, no attack. And that's exactly what they did. And you know what? If I'm Mestag, you just let that happen. You let that shot go.
We saw it in a game when Slovenia played.
Can we have another camera?
You and I had the opportunity to talk to one of the head referees here in this tournament before the game. You have to be able to let a player land in their shooting zone. And we've seen a few fouls you and I have in Group C and Group Play. Mestag didn't let Baric land in where she jumped from. So it's just pointless. It's a pointless foul.
If she makes 2 here, then she can intentionally miss the 3rd and they can try to kick it out for a 3.
How many times have we seen that?
But the bottom line is you have to know the situation. And boy, that is the one that she did not want to miss.
I mean, you had to make your first 2, like you said, possibly miss your 3rd.
Now they need to make both of these and then get a steal, and if not, put them on the line. But again, we saw Hungary, late in their game against Slovenia, almost fouled. It looked to me like Rakhshani almost fouled the shooter. If she had made it, would have been a 4-point play. And I know that I'm sure that Mestag must have said, listen, let's don't go out and don't foul.
Coach Mestak, absolutely. And then I think all the players went out and said, you know what, no matter what, don't foul. And for kind of a veteran and a leader on your team.
That's surprising.
Yes.
And maybe this is kind of symbolic of their women's EuroBasket so far. Let's listen as you look at the three-point shooting and the field goal percentages.
Igra. Sprint out. Has to pick the pick and go out.
Oh wait, I think we're hearing Damir Grgic.
They go in the foul. Kovač foul. Alex Sven.
Nobody 15 points.
Making some substitutions here. Because keep in mind, Baric and Oblak both have 4 fouls.
Imaju oni 2 penala. Probi seka Čugoća sada.
You're down 3. You need to go for a steal or a very quick foul. And sure enough, we have Oblak and Baric on the bench.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. If you remember Serbia, they get in this exact same spot, stole the inbounds pass and went down.
Yeah.
But obviously they would have to pull up for a three-pointer.
I can't imagine Belgium making that same kind of mistake again.
This time they do get the ball in bounds.
And
3.7 seconds remain. And she makes this one.
I mean, Messima is a 88% free throw shooter also. So basically, I'm going to have to bet if she makes 1 or 2 here.
If I'm Coach Mestak, I bring all of my players to the other end of the court and say, just stand there with your hands down. Don't do anything. It looks more and more like we're going to watch Belgium in the quarterfinal against France. And that's going to be a tasty one. Second one is good. So back to a 5-point lead. It's been a great, well, it's been an interesting tournament. Some positive signs from Slovenia, but couldn't quite get the job done today. And Belgium somehow, some way, have avoided crashing out of the competition in the qualification round for the quarterfinals. They advance with a 72-67 win over Slovenia. Well, they are relieved in the stats, you know, 38% shooting. That should be much higher, really, for Slovenia. 18% from three-point range. Belgium ended about rebounding and 40-31. And Belgium won despite the 14 turnovers. And here's something that we haven't said. You know, it's kind of a sign of a good team that you can win ugly and win even when you're not at your best. And with Alamon with 25 points, Mestak, I guess that was Kim Mestak with the 11 rebounds. That's someone with 5 assists. Also had the 3 blocks, also the 5 turnovers.
I mean, really, Jeff, I hurt a little bit for Slovenia because I thought they put together a great game plan and they were able to execute it defensively, offensively. They missed a few shots all game long, but especially down at the stretch, but they were excellent looks. And really hats off to the coaching staff and the team to be able to execute that kind of a game plan because they frustrated Belgium. I mean, this was a Belgium team that played a different style and they were forced to play a different style that they are not, it's not to their advantage to play like that. So, and you know, one of the best players, if not the best player in this tournament, Emma Messiman, she's been shooting 60% from the field. They forced her to shoot 40% from the field this game. She had 5 very uncharacteristic turnovers. So, I mean, Slovenia did absolutely everything they could have, Jeff.
Well, it was, you know, it's back to the drawing board for Slovenia. And I think they will know that they have to play better if they're going to be successful.
And then, you know, just looking forward a little bit, we know that Belgium is going to meet up with France, who were here watching this game, in the quarterfinals.
So they've probably learned a few things. It is interesting that even on a bad day, Emma Messamon comes up with 18 points and 9 rebounds and 5 assists.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one of her bad days. So it just tells you really how good she is. And, you know, we could talk about Julie Alleman. Really, that was Slovenia's game plan. They said, you know what, let's make her shoot. Let's make her beat us. And,
I just think
guess
more
what,
than,
that three, that put them up finally going into, I think there was, 45 seconds left? Almost. I don't want to say sealed it because there were other great looks, but really, here you can see that three right here. It was a huge shot, probably one of the biggest shots of her life. She's made big assists throughout her very young and short career with the senior team so far, but that shot was, you know, she's stepping up and she's taking responsibility and showing people that, you know what, you also have to guard me.
She's showing I am as good as you thought I was. I just had a bad few days. And I think really the main thing for this Slovenia team more than anything is experience, lack of experience perhaps. They just have to experience these moments at the EuroBasket women and try to get stronger from them. You know, it'll be painful, but I hope they go back and they look at the game with the coach and they see how, you know, where they can get better, and then they go back and they work on it. But for Belgium, they're going to have to turn it up a notch to beat France, because France, as usual, have a team that is loaded. They have an experienced coach and Valerie Garnier. You know, and they're one of the teams to beat in this competition. But next up, it'll be Italy and Russia. We hope that you're going to stick around with us. That will start off in about 36 minutes. So, once again, Belgium winning against Slovenia to advance to the quarterfinals, 72-67.